cuál es ese mapa de ruta para hacer tus primeras ventas en Internet o para duplicarlas si es que ya lo tienes. Si es que ya haces ventas y quieres pasar a otro nivel, clave número 1 es mentalidad. Si no estás, óyeme bien, si no estás con la cabeza en donde tiene que estar, puedes tener la mejor estrategia y no va a funcionar. Si algo no funciona, primero vas y revisas en dónde está mi cabeza, en dónde estaba mi emoción, en dónde estaba mi pensamiento. Segunda clave, estrategia, ¿ok? Estrategia. Yo puedo tener la mentalidad, puedo ser el más positivo, la más positiva, hacer afirmaciones, hacer un montón de cosas, pero si no estoy usando las estrategias correctas, si no estoy tomando los pasos correctos para mi momento de negocio, tampoco va a funcionar. Y lo tercero, súper importante, es en dónde está tu termostato financiero. Digamos que aplicas ROI, pero tienes tu termostato financiero abajo, pero crees o no eres capaz de cobrar por tus servicios o tienes alguna creencia limitante con el dinero. Entonces, muy importante que todo el tiempo, óyeme bien, tú estés trabajando tu mentalidad con el dinero y aquí en esta comunidad le decimos termostato financiero. Entonces, esas son mis 3 claves. Y quiero contarte una historia porque Scott le va a hablar de cuáles son esos pasos para una persona que va a empezar o no ha hecho ninguna venta en Internet, que ya tiene audiencia, que tiene algo de seguidores, que ya cree que tiene un negocio virtual, pero todavía no vende bien, o si tú quieres duplicar tu negocio. Esto va a dar esos pasos. Pero quiero que entiendas un poco cómo veo yo los negocios virtuales. Yo veo los negocios virtuales como un gran bosque. Entonces, si tú no has hecho nunca nada en Internet, tú debes primero entender y tener claridad de qué es este gran bosque con millones de árboles. Y yo amaré de verdad que tú entiendas, ok, esto es una landing page, esto es un regalo, estas son las estructuras, estas son las páginas, esta es la secuencia, estos son los correos, esto es un autorrespondedor. Antes de que empieces a hacer muchas cosas, porque Internet puede ser absolutamente abrumador. El mundo de los negocios virtuales puede ser abrumador si tú no entiendes que es un océano, que es un bosque gigante. Esa es la primera analogía. Nivel 1, yo quiero conocer el bosque gigante. Nivel 2, ya quiero bajar y entrar al bosque y decidir qué área de ese bosque me gusta a mí más. Ahí es cuando ya has hecho tu primera venta, ya tienes tu mensaje, ya dices, ok, yo quiero trabajar en esta parte del bosque y quiero vender esto, quiero ofrecer esto, quiero dar este mensaje, quiero volverme o quiero hacer este tipo de lanzamientos o quiero enseñar a las personas este tema. Entonces ya entendiste el bosque, bajas. Y el tercero es, ok, ya conozco el bosque, ya he explorado y voy a hacer la cabaña más divina en este bosque y me voy a volver el mejor, el más experto, el más íntimo con mi comunidad. Voy a crear esta comunidad increíble de personas en esta cabaña, dentro de este bosque gigante. Entonces, mi otra analogía es hermosa que te la voy a decir al final y tiene que ver con cómo empiezas un deporte, con cómo empiezas a tocar guitarra por primera vez, cómo empiezas a correr y tu sueño es correr una maratón, pero nunca has corrido. Y es este camino hermoso de wow, entender que si estás empezando va a tomarte un tiempo. Ni Scott ni yo somos estos mentores que decimos ya, de un día para otro, millonario. No creo en eso. Yo creo en que pongas el trabajo, en que tengas la mentalidad, en que tengas las estrategias correctas. Y sí creo que la educación, que la formación, lo que hace es que te ahorra y acorta el camino. Cuando tú compras o inviertes en un seminario, lo que estás haciendo es no cometiendo y evitándote los errores que Scott y yo ya hemos cometido. Pero además, usando las mejores prácticas que nosotros hemos probado por años. Scott lleva más tiempo que yo en el mundo digital, yo menos tiempo, pero por años. Y decimos, ok, ya he probado todas, esta es la página de ventas que funciona. Ya he probado todo esto, esta es la forma que funciona. Entonces, voy a dejar esa parte para el final. Quiero, antes de darle la entrada a Scott, decirte que a mí me encanta conectarme, me encanta prepararme muy bien para hacer estas intervenciones contigo. Y oí muchas veces una canción hoy, y la canción decía: vinimos a esta vida a amar y a servir. Y quiero que tengas eso en tu corazón antes de oír los pasos de Scott. Vinimos a esta vida a amar y a servir. Siempre ten eso en tu corazón. Siempre ten más que el dinero. Entiende que el dinero va a llegar. Entiende que si tú actúas y creas un negocio virtual y estás en este mundo bajo esta idea de amar y servir, y entonces las ventas se vuelven un servicio, y entonces el amor se vuelve manifestación, y entonces el dinero llega como una consecuencia inevitable a este acto de amar y servir. Es mi gran deseo para ti, porque si no, no vas a disfrutar este proceso. So, let's go. All yours.
Wonderful. Thank you, Tatiana. Well, I am so excited to be here with all of you today. Again, if you're here, it's a testament to the fact that you want to have a better life, and entrepreneurship allows us to do that. And so today, what I wanted to do, I wanted to make this relevant for three groups of people. One, those that right now you really are just jumping into entrepreneurship, right? So you're really kind of at that startup mode. Two, for people that are wanting to double or more their business. You already have a business, you already have something that's working. You just want it to work better, generate more sales, more revenue. And three, the third person, you have an audience maybe on Instagram or Facebook or TikTok, and you want to turn that audience into an actual business so that you go from having just a likes and follower account to being able to put money into your bank account. I want to start with, obviously all of these all go back to having always the right mindset. And Tatiana talks about this all the time, having the right mindset, having the right strategy, and having the right financial mindset or financial thermostat. And so I'm not really going to go into those today. Tatiana talks about that all the time. What I want to go into is under each of these. I'm going to start with, if you are brand new to entrepreneurship and you're really just starting out, what really matters. And obviously I don't have a ton of time today. I could go probably into 12 or 15 different things. I'm just highlighting what my belief are the most important. If you are here today, you are new to entrepreneurship, you're starting a business, you're just getting traction. So the very first, when it comes to starting a business, and this is so incredibly important, it is the number one thing that most people fail, is ensuring that you know who you are and who you want your customer to be and all the elements of that before you go and start trying to sell anything to anybody. And there's 8 elements of relevancy. I'm only going to go through 4 today because they're the most important ones for where you are. And obviously I'm only going a little tiny bit into them. You have to really know who exactly you're going after, which is we call the avatar. Number 2, we need to ensure that we know our positioning to them. So we want to craft the way that we are seen to them. The third, we had to have the right messaging. So we need to know what to say when to them, right? Which goes back to the psychology of their mind. And number 4 is the offer. We have to have an offer that matches up with that avatar, right? If we're trying to go work with millionaires, we're not going to sell them a $7 membership. If we're going to go with, somebody that is middle class, then we want to sell something that the middle class would actually buy, or, so on and so forth. And so relevancy is critically important, because if you try to sell to everybody, you sell to no one. And if you don't know who you're selling to, it's going to be really, 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 really difficult for someone else to actually buy. The first part of relevancy, the reason we want to do that is because if we don't do that, the ability to get your first few customers is going to be really, really, really difficult. Right, and which goes into number 2. And also keep in mind, if you are not relevant, like if you have an important part of business is being good at what you do, right? And so an important part of business is actually being able to serve, which goes into number 2. And so if you want to attract an audience and you're not the most experienced or the most skilled, Well, there's also an element of you actually getting good at that over time so that you can charge more money, so that you can attract more clients. I wasn't always as good as I am at being able to do what I do. I crafted it day after day after day. I researched, I bought courses, I bought training, I got mentors. I really, at the end of the day, crafted who I am. And that allows me to charge more and more money and get more and more customers and be the person who actually, truly deserves to be here today that you're listening to. And so this is the part that a lot of people discount. And the part is the better you get, the more people are going to want to work with you. Doesn't matter what type of marketing you have, what type of selling structure you have, what type of team you have, what kind of operations you have. The better you get at being able to help transform the lives of your customers through either products, services, or your expertise, the more you're going to get paid and the easier life is going to be. That's not a point, but what I was simply saying is inside of relevancy, just because you may look and you may say, well, you know what, I'm not that relevant today. And the honest truth is you may not. That doesn't mean you can't have a business. That all that means is that you now have room to get better and better and better every day. So number 2 is go and solve problems. So a lot of people, we want the fancy Facebook ad accounts and Instagram accounts, and we want the flashy stuff. If there's one thing, so back in 2013, I was $1 million in debt. So that's 7-8 years ago. And the number one thing that I did that absolutely changed my life is, keep in mind, I was very relevant. Okay. I really had my relevancy crafted. Back then I didn't realize that's what it was, but that's what it was. And I started just simply reaching out and just talking to people, right? Just socially talking to people, which is now called social selling. But go solve problems and don't be afraid to just ask somebody, especially at the beginning, how can I help? Just listen to what they're going through, right? There's this method of kind of allowing someone to tell you their pain, allowing them to see their vision, and being able to fill that gap. At the beginning, the more you can fill that gap, the easier your business is going to be to get off the ground. It's easier to be able to get out of the startup phase. And so the biggest thing you have to realize, successful businesses are based on being able to solve problems. There's no business that exists that is successful that doesn't solve problems, and it's your job to be able to solve those problems. So number 2 is go solve who you are relevant to. Go and figure out how to solve their problems and just solve them. And you're going to have money come towards you really quickly thereafter. So 1 was relevancy, 2 was go solve problems, and 3, which was related to go solve problems, which is don't focus on all the flashy stuff. Don't focus on the fancy website. You don't need the fancy landing pages. You don't need and you also don't need a bunch of different courses and a bunch of different programs. What I built and what Tatiana's built, we built something that is, allows you, and we'll talk about this later, that allows you, no matter if you're starting right now or you're making $5,000 a month or you're making $25,000 a month. I even got people that are making $500,000 US a month that buy my program, the exact same thing that we're going to talk about a little bit later. And so a lot of the time, it's normal to like look all around, right? Bright, shiny light, bright syndrome, right? Just looking around, especially when you're new to this, right? Especially when you're new to this, it's a very normal phenomenon. And so the entrepreneurs that are successful, they understand what they're going to be relevant for. They double down on it, and they spend the next 5 years of their life doing the exact same thing, just getting better and better and better and better. And they focus, they follow through. So for doubling your business, number 1 is actually, so this is a bonus one. This is before even number 1, okay? Because everything I just spoke about with relevancy is even more important, okay? So if you've already gotten to where you are, well, now it's time to really double down and really define your niche and avatar. Now it's really time to, one of the things that I see a lot of the time, if someone just adds a new offer to the table, they can double your business. If you already have a little bit of audience, some already customers, a lot of people can go from 50,000 a year to 100,000 a year, or 100,000 a year to 200,000 a year, just by redefining their relevancy and by really, really, really dialing in your messaging, really dialing in your positioning, really being able to talk to the right person at the right time, and having offers. That is what right now a lot of people can literally double their business if you already have it. Even if you do none of my marketing stuff, just by doing that, by doubling down on the relevancy. A lot of the time it's just about redefining now how you're going to do business and how you're going to be relevant going forward. And a quote that you can translate, I don't know maybe if you can, but success is simple, but we don't want to believe it is. So the first thing that I would do almost every single person if you want to double your business, probably even 4x your business, who knows, 10x your business. I've seen it all the time. I mentor lots of people, they 10x their business, out of nowhere. And how do they do it? They figure out a way to be able to, once they're relevant, be able to take complete strangers and turn them into customers automatically, okay? And so that is through a funnel, right? That is through having a landing page with some really, your highest level piece of value, the thing that you really want out there. The thing that should be, so think about it this way, a funnel should introduce your best work to complete strangers, and through doing so, you will be able to turn them into fans and followers, and of course, eventually customers, all right? And so people always get super, again, unfocused, and they're like, well, what's gonna sell the best? What's going to convert? Well, my question to you is, what is not in the world that should be in the world that you can put into the world that somebody's going to be like, wow, that really makes sense. That really helps me. That solves my problem. Everything that I've done, that's been successful has always been answering that question, not answering the question, how do I make more money? It's always been asking the question, what has the highest level of impact that I have the ability to put out there, to be able to put out there into the world. So a funnel allows you to do this automatically as you're sleeping every single day, building more and more people that you are relevant to. Success is relaxation at the intersection of fun. If you can be relaxed and have fun, success will be much easier. Because what is success? What is it when you are, have $1 million in the bank? You're relaxed. What happens when you're super healthy? You're relaxed. What happens when you're just fully in love with yourself and the world? You're relaxed, right? Everybody says they want $1 million. What they really want is to be relaxed. And so the sooner you are relaxed, the sooner you'll have the bank account that you desire. The second thing, I talk about it a lot, is omnipresence. Right? So if you have someone's attention, if you have those people coming through the funnel, if you have the people coming into your world, what is going to generate more money? Attention will generate more money. The more somebody will see you, whether it's through your email list, your WhatsApp list, your Telegram list, your Facebook group, your retargeting ads, it doesn't matter where, or wherever your people are, it's perfectly fine. But the more that they see you, the more content that's repurposed, the more that you are in front of them, the more their attention is going to be to you. And attention is energy, all right? And energy is money. So the more attention, AKA energy, that flows towards you, the more money you're going to make. 100% of the time, it is essentially a universal law, right? Because it is the law of energy. If there's more energy coming towards you and you have the receptors, right? You have the funnel, you have the relevancy in order to accept the energy and turn it into money. That is how you increase how much money you make, by being able to capture more attention. And you do that through being omnipresent. So one of the easiest things, so if you notice, if you're already relevant, you already have funnels, you have attention coming towards you, the more launches you do, the more revenue you're going to have come in. All right. And so as you go into the future, as you make more money, you can do less launches. Okay. If you want to, one of the things in life is, the more money you have, the more opportunity you have to say yes and no to whatever you wish. And so, I haven't done a launch since August. Okay. Really outside of this, in my other own business. Why? Because I have the money where I just don't have to. I don't have to launch for years if I don't want to. And so, but at the stage of you wanting to double, quadruple your business, The more launches, not only is it more revenue, the reason why launches work when you can do them consecutive after each other is because you're getting more and more and more attention, and it is a form of omnipresence. So omnipresence and launches, again, goes together. The more attention I have, the more money I'm going to make. And so that's a part of omnipresence, which is number 2, is by doing more launches, you automatically create more omnipresence and more people talking. There's 3 components of social selling, of intimacy, that are really important at this stage.
So that's number 3?
Number 3, yeah.
Okay.
Number 3. And it's conversations, it's connection, and it's community. Okay, so as you're building more and more people coming into your funnels, into your launches, you want to be building a community. You need a reason to be here, a flag to put in the sand. Here's what we're doing. Here's why we're here. Right? It's not just about you making money and you about helping them, but here we are together changing something. Right? The second part, you showing up authentically who you are, not trying to be anybody else besides who you are, and owning yourself. Like the more you own yourself, the easier it is for you to connect with somebody.
Hold on.
And finally, conversations are that is where money happens, right? That is where sales happen, is in the conversation, whether it's a phone call, whether it's in a DM, whether it's in text messaging, WhatsApp, somebody being able to feel connected to you, and then them being able to feel seen and heard. That's what allows someone to be like, you know what, I want to give this person money and I want to have help. I want to have their help. We had, if you're starting a business, that was just if you want to double the business. And a third one, you have an audience and you want to build a business on that. And the audience doesn't have to be big. It can be 5,000, 10,000, even less than that. Of people on Instagram or Facebook or, wherever they may be. But the very first step, very, very, very similar. First off, you have to do it with the relevancy that I talked about twice already. So I'm not even going to talk about that right now. I've already spoken about it. You have to be relevant, because having likes and followers is different than having a business. And you have to know exactly who you're going to serve as part of that audience. First thing, you also have to have a funnel and an email list. So you can take the people from Instagram and Facebook and wherever they are and transfer them over to a platform where you have control of how you can talk to them, instead of an algorithm that you have no control over depicting if you can talk to them or not. That is number 1. So when you build that funnel, that email list, and again, this is perfect. We want to launch that out. And what's going to happen is that when you have an audience, your launch is larger than if you don't, right? So you have a little bit of an advantage. Right? Now, if you don't have an audience, it's not a big deal. You can still make it work for sure. It works all the time. But you're just going to have a larger launch because you're going to have more attention right from the get-go. So the second step is to be able to take the funnel and live launch it, right? So whether it's a challenge or a guide or a masterclass, whatever that funnel is, we're going to launch it live, and we're going to launch it through Instagram or Facebook or whatever platform it is, through your Instagram stories, through your posts. And you're going to do that launch for a period of 7 to 14 days where you talk about it, and get all of the attention you can on your product or your service or getting people on the phone or whatever it is. But you want to have a launch structure, which is then going to bring you into number 3. And so the last is this. If you have an audience, is you want to take that first launch. You want to launch, and then you want to invest it into infrastructure, your team, your operations, your technology, building evergreen funnels. Okay, so the biggest problem people have that have audiences, they get on this loop roller coaster, right? And so what do they got to keep on launching, or they take the money they make and they go upgrade their lifestyle, right? Which I'm totally for, right? I live in a multi-million-dollar house. I have my dream car. I take, very, very expensive vacations. My lifestyle is very expensive in relation to most. I did that after I built my business, after I built my audience, after I built my infrastructure. So you want to launch, and then you want to put that money into infrastructure, into mentoring, into building your business for the long term, because we don't know what day that the algorithm changes and now you can't reach your audience anymore. We want to build your audience even faster, right? And what is the best place to put your money? If you have the money, infrastructure, mentorship, and audience. Those 3 things always. And so the third is being able to take that money and put it into the infrastructure of your business so that you always have a business in the future. So we've gone through all 3. We've gone through, you're starting, We've gone through if you want to double or more. And we've gone through if you have an audience and you really want to have that business. And so in every single one, of course, you need the right mindset as well and the right strategy, as well as the, understanding the financial elements of it. But those are some, right, 10% of what it takes and what I want you to focus on based on where you are. And it's really exciting because most programs, most courses, they're built, they put you in a box and they say, well, this is all you can do. Whereas what I really believe in is that you are unique, your business is unique, and I'm giving you the playbook, the principles to be able to grow by.